Despite Arsenal not being very active in the transfer window so far, there is no doubt about it, Arsenal's team are definitely in a really good space. And one of the main players for that is Kai Havertz, who not only has cemented himself as the man to lead the line for Arsenal, his role is a lot more than that within the team. In this video, we're going to talk about his performance against Wolves and why he is doing things slightly different to last season, which are going to make Arsenal even better. So let's get into it. Now, the striker position has definitely been one of notice for Arsenal and Arsenal fans to talk about a lot. A lot of people still consider Arsenal needing a new striker to be able to win the league, but in this video we're going to go through exactly why Havertz is probably the best option right now, and actually in the market there isn't many good opportunities that can actually improve with his role. Now, to claim Havertz also is a striker, I wouldn't say is accurate either. I will think that he will turn more into a striker with the signing of Mikel Merino, as Mikel Merino will offer more support so he can actually get into the box, but he does have a free role in midfield where he kind of just floats around and will help people within space. And now, first of all, he is one of the best pressers in the team, which helps him being further forward than he was before. Him and Odegaard are the best pressers, but against Wolves, instead of them working together in a 2 system, Odegaard was actually tasked with being the main person that sort of directed play down the right or left side, majority down the left side of the Wolves defence. Havertz was often blocking the midfield, so they wouldn't be able to run through and actually get that progressive movement, with Rice and Partey obviously a little bit distance behind, trying to rely on them two to win the ball back. Now, not only winning the ball back is he really good at, but he's also very progressive. He loves running into space when he sees something for the channel, and will also fight anyone that goes against him. Now, I'm not going to say he's the best person on the ball in the world, because I don't think that is true, but he certainly gets Arsenal thriving and going more forward because of his sheer determination. And we have seen before that Havertz has been a very important player in how Arsenal go up front, because he does move into channels and will interplay with different wingers. But with the new setup, we sort of have our own triangles created. The right centre mid will create one with the right winger and the right back, and the left centre mid will create one with the left back and the left winger. So that involves Havertz to basically just move around when the triangle isn't necessarily there. He can come and help the left side if Zinchenko hasn't been pushed up just yet in that position, or even overlap the left side if they need to get more players into the centre. Now, he does and can do this on the right side as well, but with Ben White being there right now, he doesn't really need to, because he's more or less going to overlap Saka. Now, against Wolves, he kept picking up very interesting positions. Here you can see that the Wolves defenders are kind of eased off him. They don't really know if they can go towards him because he's a bit in no man's land. He's in that midfield gap between the defence and the midfield of the Wolves team. Rice, Saka, Martinelli are all pushing up into the box, which obviously have to be marked. Because they're so narrow, obviously there's a chance to get it out wide for the overlap and they'd have to get out there. But also it gives Havertz quite a lot of space in the centre, because he is in that position where if they press him, they could get caught off in behind by the other players and Arsenal pushing up. And although sometimes Havertz definitely doesn't make the right decision in these moments, he getting in this space just causes problems for the defence of the other team, and often gives space to other people because they have to come over to cover for Havertz. Another thing that makes him so good about his sporadic movement is just the fact that he can help in any situation. There's a few times that Arsenal had throw-ins on the right side and he'd come right over to pick up the ball. This allowed people like Saka to get into the middle in good positions, and of course Wolves have a lot of defenders covering. You could also put the ball across to one of the midfielders outside the box or back post, where you expect to have the winger and the centre mid on the other side, giving Arsenal even more options. And there's been a lot of talk about Arsenal not being very quick on transition, especially last year, and needing that really fast player up front. Now, Havertz isn't the quickest player in the world, but because he is so good at finding space and running into channels on the right or left side, and he's so versatile in the runs that he chooses to make, it does help Arsenal get up the pitch a lot quicker, where he is usually the one that will pass the ball through or be running with Martinelli or Saka going forward. This just gives Arsenal way more options, and he's a lot more decisive on the ball from deep. He will quickly run with it and quickly make passes forward, while someone like Jesus, who's also individually brilliant, might take too long on the ball to try and dribble around players. Havertz isn't really a dribbler, he's more of a straight runner with the ball. And not only did he keep making these runs against Wolves, the thing that makes this even better is that he is very aware and very good defensively at making tackles and interceptions and recoveries. This means that he can often press the Wolves defence with his brilliant pressing that we mentioned before to win the ball back in great attacking areas, where he can even bring a foul or get Arsenal on the counter attack. In this game, he made a lot of defensive actions: 2 clearances, 1 interception, 6 defensive actions, 1 recovery, and made 1 tackle. And when you consider that these are all coming very high up the pitch for Arsenal on the counter attack, this is very important for getting the team forward when they may be under considerable pressure. midfielder. And now these are all things that help the team, but what also helps the team is goal scoring, and you are the furthest person forward, so you need that from him as well. And since his confidence has come back, I think his aerial threat has been quite apparent in the box. Havertz always has great movement, he makes great selection on when to move, but his aerial prowess from his movement has been really showing. In pre-season he looked very good at creating a distance between him and the defenders and running deep off the ball, and that seems to be something we have continued this year, with his first goal of the Premier League season being a late run into the box and heading it in front of the goalkeeper. But it's not only just the fact that he's great from crosses, he can really defend set piece as well. He can obviously score from set pieces. We saw one against Tottenham last year. And at all times, if Arsenal want to cross the ball in, you've got a striker in there that's not only a mobile striker that will run around and do a lot of things, creating chances and getting the team up the pitch, but someone that is willing to sit in the box and also head the ball down. He's actually very good in the air. He's got great aerial prowess, and he knows when to get into the right positions, and the more he does it, the more better he will become, which is something that strikers like Osimhen and Gyökeres would also add to Arsenal, but they not necessarily got all of that running prowess about them and the intelligence to actually make the right passes and right runs at the right time. Havertz may not have the technical level of these players, but when you keep making the right decisions and keep making the right choices, eventually things will come to you, and you don't need to necessarily be the best technical level when he's still at a very high level as it is. And he isn't the best passer, but he can be versatile in midfield and not only be a box crusher in that left centre mid spot, which we think we're signing Marino for, where he can come into the box late and get some headers on the ball, but he also can make them smart movements in and around to be the triangle on the left side, and also make great passes from deep, which he did in this game when Jesus came on and he moved deeper, pushing the ball out wide to get us on the attack, which we've seen a few times that he actually did in pre-season as well. And it is known that Arteta loves fighters in his teams. Duels is obviously something they think about a lot, and you look at even people like Jesus, who's a very duel heavy person, likes getting into a fight, likes getting physical and trying to win the ball back. That's something you get from Havertz every single game. He gets so many duels per game, it's unbelievable, and he loses a lot of course, but he's usually in quite unfair advantages in these situations where he's positioned, considering he's an attacker. But 8 duels won and 11 lost in the Wolves game show that he's still fighting and has that physical level to not let Wolves be comfortable on the ball at any moment. He's always going to be there trying his best. And the last thing, the reason why Havertz, more than tactics, is actually viable to this Arsenal team is the fact that he is not injured. He always starts. He has played every single game nearly last season. He went to the Euros, played every single game, and has come in and played 90 minutes for Arsenal straight away and been phenomenal. There's obviously Arsenal have a select few players that can do this, some brilliant players out there like Saka, who's been really injury free for a while now, but Havertz is another one of them players that just seems to have everything going for him and never seems to be unavailable, which I can't say the same about some players in the market right now. Overall, there is very good strikers out there, but Arsenal don't need an out-and-out striker to make this team better. It could also be good, but they lose a lot of pressure then and can not make as many attacking different changes as they would want before. It could become one-dimensional if you're just looking for that one player in the box, unless they're incredible and score every single chance they get. And Havertz has earned his place not only in Arsenal's team, but as one of Arsenal's most important players through the different tactics and why he is so vital to the way that they play. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.